All right, good evening and many thanks for joining us. This the 21st day of January, the year 2025. Indeed, it's a day that we have much and more lined up for you. And of course, it's a month that part of discussion that has been on the lips of many people is about the Gen Z and their behavior. Now talking about the new talk in town, the regulation of the social media misuse, and this is one that was proposed by the new ICT Cabinet Secretary, William Kabogo, stating that if, and indeed he has already have the job, that he will come up with the regulation measures to ban those who are misusing social media. And one of the regulations that he proposes was to ban such individuals who misuse and exploit social media by spreading hate and engaging in other harmful online behavior. That is the message from the new sheriff in town, William Kabogo. Now, the question that lingers on is, why is this move necessary at this particular time? Do we have, or rather don't we have enough laws to actually curb the misuse of social media? Well, this takes us to Article 33 of the Constitution that talks about the freedom of expression and speech for that matter. And let me tell you what is permitted under this article. Now, the Article 33 of the Constitution talks about freedom to seek, receive, or impart information or ideas, freedom of artistic creativity. In this case, this is what we saw, the creativity that the young people are using, especially with the use of artificial intelligence, or if you prefer the acronym, that is AI, to create the cartoons that we saw going around in the social media that had actually sparked a lot of debate and controversy as far as the conduct of the young people is concerned in this digital era stage, and of course as a medium of expression towards the government. And of course the article also outlines the academic freedom and freedom of scientific research. However, Article 33 of the Constitution also, in as much as you are given your right to the right of expression and to state actually, or rather to express yourself in a manner that is protected under the Constitution, however, has some limits, and these limits are what is some of the limitations in regard to Article 33 of the Constitution that talks about the freedom of expression. The article limits propaganda for war, incitement to violence, hate speech, advocacy of hatred. That is what is prohibited under this Article 33 of the Constitution. And this is some of the laws, and of course that is enshrined in our Constitution, that protect the freedom of expression and the manner at which you can express yourself with respect to dignity and of course respect to other people's opinion in regard to expression of freedom of speech. And of course we have various ways of expressing this, and we have laws that protect the freedom of expression and lay down procedure under which one can express his or herself in this. And we have the Cybercrime Act of 2018. We have the Integration Commission Act that lay down procedure under which one can actually express himself and what is prohibited under this act. And this is what has been really sparking a lot of debate and a very heated debate. Some leaders actually supporting this new measure to curb the use of social media to try and deter such vices from happening. And this has been much of the talk in this particular new year, this 2025, the January, and the new sheriff in town, that is William Kabogo, the new ICT Cabinet Secretary, promised to act swiftly to make sure that the right of citizens to express themselves is upheld. At the same time, those vices that he thinks are immoral are contained. And of course, this is something that we'll be bringing you in our subsequent coverage. But first thing first, we have this and many more lined up for you. But first thing first, our highlights. Tonight, stop divisive politics. Ruto hit back at critics as his allies trade their guns on Gachagua. Which way Haiti? Kenya's peacekeeping mission in Haiti in limbo as US slam brakes on foreign aid. Also tonight, the raging fire. Dozens left homeless as properties of unknown value reduced to ashes in Manguo slums. Plus, no stone will be left unturned. IPOA vows to seek justice for the victims of Luka Moja clashes.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, many thanks for joining us tonight. Remember, you're coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV News Live. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. We can talk, or rather you can talk and chat to us. You can send in your views and thoughts on this particular broadcast on our X platform at KUTV_Kenya at Auma Events. Remember to use the hashtag State of the Nation. And of course, to help us unpack this, our sign language interpreter tonight is Moses Gitonga. And we begin with the latest. President William Ruto has continued with his call for a united Kenya, reiterating his stance on the broad-based government in Shinyala, Kakamega County, where he launched the last mile connectivity project. President Ruto's ally criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of being an ambassador of divisive politics. Blue Smile Hassan is on that beat tonight.
Watu wa Shinyala tumekubaliana. Hebu nione wala wanasema tumekubaliana.
During the third day of his 6-day presidential tour in Western Kenya, President William Ruto launched the last mile connectivity project in Shinyala, Kakamega County.
Shinyala wa mjambo. Kakamega mulimbe. Mulimoyo. Mulibaramu. Musangalire. Mwami Yesu isomiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hebu mnisalimie wale nione watu wa Shinyala. Hey!
President Ruto in his address praised his efforts to unite the country in his broad-based government.
Siasa ya ukabila na chuki na kugawanana hatutaki katika Kenya yetu. Na ndio sababu hiyo nikatengeneza serikali ya umoja ya Wakenya. Serikali inaitwa broad based, ambayo imeleta Wakenya wote pamoja. Si sasa huyu gavana wenu wa zamani Bwana Oparanya ni waziri katika serikali ya Kenya? Mimi nauliza nyinyi watu wa huyu mungwana.
Sasa tuko group moja na ma-DVD na Weta na Oparanya na Barasa na Kalwale. Sisi ni kitu kimoja. Tuendelee namna hiyo. Ya pili na ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Rais amesema hii umoja wa taifa anatafuta ili tulete maendeleo kwa wananchi. Tujenge barabara, tuweke stima, tuweke madawa kwa hospitali, mwananchi wa kawaida apate huduma.
Political punches ran in the air against the ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was labeled as an ambassador of division in the country.
Hatutaki tupotoshwe na watu ambao wametolewa kwa kisheria, kwa kikatiba, alafu wanazurura hapa wanadanganya ati hao ndio wataunda serikali. Serikali ni hii, na sisi tutakuwa hapa na mimi nataka niwaambie tumeshikana kabisa, hii Kenya itakuwa na maendeleo zaidi.
Kama angekuwa yule mkabila mwingine angesema kwa sababu Shinyalu hakuna mlima hawezi wasaidia.
President Ruto also hailed his government projects, praising his accomplishment in implementing the competency-based curriculum CBC, affordable fertilizers, and further urged residents to register for the Social Health Authority SHA. President Ruto will continue his Western Kenya tour on Wednesday in Quisero, where he shall be launching other government projects. Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.
Right, politics aside, now Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja has assured his readiness to attend court session regarding abduction inquiries. Speaking at the annual Administration Police Service Senior Commanders Conference in Kwale, Kanja promised to present a comprehensive report once briefed. His remarks follows his director, or rather the Director of Criminal Investigation Boss Mohammed Amin's failure to honor multiple court summons related to the abductions of 4 individuals in Mulolongo last December. Nevertheless, families of the missing persons have petitioned the Law Society of Kenya for intervention. Kanja stated that investigations into the abductions are at an advanced stage, emphasizing that the perpetrators will be prosecuted in line with the law. Now, crossing the borders are, or rather, some other latest development. Now, devastating fire swept through Manguo slums on Monday night, destroying property of unknown value and leaving dozens of families homeless. And as Anyango Silvia reports, the inferno fueled by timber structures exposed glaring inadequacies in local firefighting efforts, prompting outrage among residents.
Property of unknown value was reduced to ashes and families were left homeless on Monday night after a fierce fire razed down rental houses at the sprawling Manguo slums in the outskirts of Nyahururu town in Laikipia County. It was reported that the fire started at around 7:30 p.m. from one of the timber houses before it spread to the nearby houses.
Sisi tulikuwa kwa nyumba tukasikia duru. Mimi kutoka nikaona moto. Nikapiga duru watu wakatoka.
Joseph Ndungu, a victim, recounted how he found their house on fire and watched helplessly as he could not reach where his house was, at least to save his items. The victim said they were unable to salvage their belongings, while some of them were also stolen by some individuals who took advantage of the sorry situation.
Saida nimesikia duru nikaanza kukuja. Nikakimbia nikaona ilikuwa ndani kwa chomeka, nikakuja kufika hapa nikaona ni kwa huyu mzee anakuwa nyuma yetu. Saida nimeona mzee anakuwa moto, nikaona zimezidi. Sasa kufika kwa nyumba ndivyo nikakuta sasa kutoa vitu, nikaanza kutoa vitu, nikaona hata ziwe sasa moto sasa imekuwa kubwa sana. Sasa nikaona hata sasa inasikia tu nikiteremeka. Hakuna kitu nimetoa, hakuna nimekaa hivi.
Efforts to contain the fire by the Nyahururu firefighting engine were fruitless. It was reported that it had no water, forcing residents to chase the personnel away. Laikipia Senator John Kinyua, who visited the scene soon after the fire broke out, was distraught over the destruction, blaming the slow response of the fire department. He lamented that the unpreparedness of the Nyahururu firefighters was shameful as the engine lacked water to help put out the fire.
Gari limekuja likakaa hapa, lenyewe likaanza kuteketea. Wakaambiwa waondoke kwa sababu hata wenyewe wangechomekea hapa. Gari linachomeka kwa sababu halina maji. Na wamekuja, unajua wakati yule mwingine wanasema kizingizio ati hakuna barabara. Hapa kuna barabara, hizi nyumba zimetengenezwa vizuri, lakini wao wenyewe wamekuja hawana maji.
Sasa gari ya moto hata ikionekana ingine inaweza kuwa mzuri sana. Sasa kama hiyo hata kama imesha moto, ingeenda inachukua maji hapa, kuna magua hapa. Ingeenda inarudi tu reverse inachukua maji hapa. Lakini si unaona hakuna usaidizi watu wamepata. Watu tu wamechomekewa nyumba, gari imekuja, hakuna kitu imesaidia. Gari tu imekuja ikapiga yeye ikaenda. Sasa that means hiyo gari time imekuja tu idhirisha imekuja lakini hajakuja isaidie. Hakuna kitu imesaidia.
Though there were no casualties that had been reported, residents are now up in arms with the Laikipia County government and now demand that another fire engine be procured and deployed in the area for easier and faster response when such incidents occur. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
That story by Anyango Sylvia, a story of indeed despair, hopelessness, and of course very tragic incident, takes us to our first break here on KUTV Primetime News. Remember, plenty more to follow after this very short break. See you on the other side.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, welcome back and thank you for keeping it KUTV State of the Nation. Now let's continue. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, or if you prefer the acronym IPOA, has assured victims of Duka Moja clashes that no stone will be left unturned until they get justice. The clashes that that left two dead while other police officer losing his hand occurred last week, but where residents actually where the protest by residents after a motor vehicle accident killed livestock on the Narok Maimahi Road. Our very own Theo Masharia with the details.
Days after deadly clashes between police officers and residents paralyzed operations at the Duka Moja Trading Center in Narok County, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority IPOA, through its commissioner's vice chairperson, stated that a team of IPOA commissioners have been camping on the ground since Saturday to unveil what transpired on that fateful day.
We are having statements from the families of the victims and also the witnesses who are present on that day. We have been able to get a statement from the local chief who we spoke with today. So we are going to follow up and ensure that justice is served to the family.
Speaking at the Narok County Referral Hospital after visiting the families that lost their loved ones and the police officers who are admitted in hospital, Ms. Anne Wanjiru called on members of the public to maintain peace as they carry out a ballistic examination to ascertain the firearm that caused the deaths and the officer in charge.
So we are here with our forensic team from IPOA who are going to do a ballistic examination to ensure that we are able to get to know these particular pieces, if they are from a bullet, they are from which arm, like who used the particular arm in shooting.
While confirming the transfer of police officers at Ntelele and Dukamoja police station where the incident occurred, Ms. Wanjiru further confirmed that 3 police officers, among them 2 ladies and 1 gentleman, were admitted in a Nairobi hospital, while another 1 police officer was undergoing treatment at Narok County Referral Hospital.
Most of the police who are in Tulele and others who are in Junction were not even doing their work. They were just there collecting money from shops. I would like to tell the government to transfer all the police who are in Tulele and those who are in Junction, in Dukamoja, because they are no longer doing their work. They are partnering. They are local like other locals.
The police officer whose arm was chopped is recuperating in hospital in Nairobi. That is one of the hospitals in Nairobi. And the other 2 ladies are also recuperating. But when we again assemble as a commission with the other commissioners, we'll be able to get the real position of how it is.
Pathologist Dr. John Buketi revealed that one of the deceased died out of abdominal injuries while another died of brain injuries.
We had 2 male victims, one aged 20, another one 26. One of the bodies had penetrating abdominal injuries, which shattered the blood vessels, the major blood vessels in the abdomen, leading to massive hemorrhage. So one of the causes was hemorrhagic shock. The other one had a perforating injury on the head, suffering a traumatic brain injury. And from the investigations, we were able also to get fragments, metallic fragments, which we are not expert into. I think the guys in ballistics will let us know what they were.
Kennedy Sutai, whose sheep were knocked by the speeding vehicle, decried of a double loss as one of their kin was shot in the demonstrations.
Na government enye ina supposed to protect ndio inatuua. So tunahimiza IPOA ifuatilie hii kesi mpaka mwisho. Sisi tunataka tu justice. Sisi tulifunga barabara ndio justice yetu ifanyike ya mbuzi, tulipwe mbuzi. But tulikuwa tunangoja leaders wetu, wakati leaders wetu hawajafika, polisi wakaingilia before leaders wafike, na tulikuwa tunataka leaders wetu address hii maneno. Wao wakakuja tu wakaanza kushoot risasi.
Consequently, IPOA has now reiterated the importance of a police force that coexists peacefully with the residents and a citizen that is law-abiding. Theo Masharia for KUTV.
Right, thank you Theo Masharia for that comprehensive reporting. Now moving on to matters gender-based violence. Now the National Gender and Equality Commission has embarked on a nationwide sensitization program aimed at addressing increased cases of gender-based violence. The program, which will include special forums for men, is set to begin in Murang'a County before moving to other parts of the country. Take a look.
A 2022 report found that over 40% of women aged between 15 to 49 in Kenya have experienced physical violence. 14% of women aged between 15 to 49 in Kenya have experienced sexual violence, whereas 44% of men aged between 15 to 49 in Kenya have experienced violence since age of 15. Currently, the prevalence of GBV stands at 53% for reported cases, with many more incidences which are unreported. To avert this vice, the National Gender and Equality Commission, NGEC, has vowed to partner with National Government Administration Officers, NGAO, and county governments to come up with appropriate measures to handle the cases. The Commission identified abuse of drugs and alcoholism as a major contributing factor to femicide, discrimination, and GBV in the country and beyond.
Our visit here in the next 2 days is essentially to sit together, discuss, share ideas, ideate on what are some of the interventions that we can be able to put in place to address this menace in our country. And hopefully we can be able to reverse the trends in the shortest period of time possible.
Murang'a County Commissioner Joshua Nkatha expressed concerns over the alarming rate of GBV cases, noting that security agencies report at least 1 death weekly due to domestic violence. He also mentioned that cases of female genital mutilation (FGM) are slowly coming up in the county, associating the illegal practice to outlawed gangs and sections.
Najua sasa kwa wakati mwingi
Mtu akifanya kitendo kama hicho anajificha, anatoroka kama hapa Murang'a, anaenda kujificha mahali pengine. Utakumbuka kuna mtu alifanya kitendo kama hicho akaua watu 3 na tulienda kumshikia Giligili Nakuru. Nataka kusema maofisa wetu usalama, especially DCI, wanamtafuta na kuna uwezekano tutamshika wakati wowote kwa sababu tuko na rings.
Every day we are witnessing our girls being killed. We also cannot rule out that our men are also battered by their wives, but they may not be able to disclose. So gender violence is there. We cannot rule it out in Murang'a County and also the country at large.
Despite the rising cases of GBV, the Kenyan judiciary has established SGBV courts staffed with specially trained judicial officers to handle GBV cases. GBV can begin at a young age, and women who experience abuse as children are more likely to experience abuse as adults. Victims in need of psychosocial support are being advised to call 1195, a national toll-free helpline offering immediate response. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Now, switching gears to matters corridors of justice, 2 of the 4 suspects in the kidnapping case of retired government chief psychotherapist Titus Muteti have been granted a bail of 5 million shillings each, whereas the other 2 suspects have been denied bail. The suspect, Duncan Wambua, Dennis Ndolo, Charles Mutinda, and Wambua Kinyili, were accused of robbing Muteti Kilika on April 29, 2024 at Kambaye Junction along Kangundo Mwala Road in Kangundo Sub-County in Machakos County. According to the prosecution, the 4, along with accomplices still at large, allegedly stole various items including a Samsung mobile phone, national identification documents, ATM cards from several banks, and cash totaling to over 1.5 million shillings. The suspect reportedly used the threats of violence to carry out the robbery. This ruling was made by Magistrate Sami Opande at Kangundo Court.
Bond be approved with reasonable conditions. On his part, the second respondent said there was no record of threat to the complainant. There was no complaint made in OB number 17/01/5/2024. He demanded its production in court. He claimed the allegations of threats are being said.
All right, we are taking another very short break. Still plenty more to come after this break.
Right here for your sake. Now, today we are going to talk about the beginning of a fall. But not just a fall, it is a fall never to recover. If you spend your time sleeping, na tumesema while you are drunk, your senses are sleeping. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. How are you doing today? I'm well in the Lord. I hope you are well in the Lord. First of all, I'd like to thank our Father in heaven. They say broken things can't be fixed, right? But that's a lie. Genesis chapter 3 verses 8. That evening they heard the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid from him among the trees. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Catch me right here only on KUTV every single Sunday.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, welcome back and let's continue with our broadcast. Now, America's 47th Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump's executive order freezing U.S. foreign assistance for 90 days has cast a shadow over the multinational security mission in Haiti. With hundreds of millions in promised funding now in limbo, Kenya's leadership of this critical operation faces unprecedented challenges. Our senior correspondent, Emmanuel Kutosi, explores the possible implications.
On his inauguration day, U.S. President Donald Trump vowed to sign executive orders immediately he gets into office.
I'm going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
The World Health Organization has expressed regret over U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the UN Health Agency. The announcement came just hours after Trump took office for his second term, citing dissatisfaction with the WHO's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and alleging disproportionate U.S. financial contributions compared to other nations, particularly China. Speaking in Geneva, WHO spokesperson Tarek Jasarevic emphasized the organization's vital role in global health and urged the U.S. to reconsider.
Kenyan police, alongside other members of the multinational security support forces, continue their patrols in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Superintendent Edwin Kolil notes that the Kenyan regiment is keen on ensuring stability in the Caribbean nation.
Promptly to make sure that we push them away and we make sure that they stay safe.
The UN-backed initiative launched last year with significant US support has already weathered multiple challenges, with several other countries including Benin, Jamaica, Antigua, Bangladesh and Chad also pledging police to support the initiative.
Where the gangs had elevated on 1st of January 2025, while this country of Haiti was celebrating the Independence Day. We pushed them down and they went away, whereby we overpowered them. And currently the area is safe and it is very peaceful, and the members of the public have now come back and they are going on with their life as usual.
However, President Donald Trump's 90-day freeze on foreign assistance has raised concerns, with the United States having emerged as the mission's primary financial backbone, with pledges totaling to $300 million, one-third allocated for direct mission support, another third for Department of Defense assistance in Haiti.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
While Canada's $123 million commitment provides some cushion, it cannot fill the gap left by the potential U.S. withdrawal, as the freeze could affect equipment and logistic to basic operational costs.
And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's recent Senate confirmation hearing marked a pivotal moment for the mission's future, having praised Kenya's leadership role, hinting at a potential continued support. He may now have to decide whether to exempt the Haiti mission from this freeze, a decision that could determine its survival. As the 90-day countdown begins, the future of this crucial security operation and Haiti's stability now possibly depend on decisions being made in Washington. Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.
Still in the United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization just hours after his inauguration to ascend to second term in office. The decision has sparked widespread concern among global health leaders and experts, as it marks a pivotal shift in international health cooperation, with the WHO expressing regret, hoping that the decision will be reconsidered.
On his inauguration day, U.S. President Donald Trump vowed to sign executive orders immediately he gets into office.
Am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
The World Health Organization has expressed regret over U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the UN Health Agency. The announcement came just hours after Trump took office for his second term, citing dissatisfaction with the WHO's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and alleging disproportionate U.S. financial contributions compared to other nations, particularly China. Speaking in Geneva, WHO spokesperson Tarek Jasarevic emphasized the organization's vital role in global health and urged the U.S. to reconsider.
Regrets the announcement that the United States of America intends to withdraw from the organization. WHO plays a crucial role in protecting the health and security of the world's people, including Americans, by addressing the root causes of disease, building stronger health systems, and detecting, preventing, and responding to health emergencies, including disease outbreaks, and often in dangerous places where others cannot go. We hope the United States will reconsider, and we look forward to engaging in constructive dialogue to maintain the partnership between the United States of America and WHO for the benefit of the health and well-being of millions of people around the globe.
The United States is the WHO's largest donor, contributing around 18% of its overall budget. Its departure could trigger significant restructuring within the organization and disrupt critical health initiatives, including those combating infectious diseases like tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS, and the ongoing H5N1 bird flu outbreak, which has already claimed a life in the United States. Health experts worldwide have raised alarms over the decision. Former Center for Disease Control Director Tom Frieden remarked that walking away from the WHO undermines global safety and U.S. influence. Public health law Professor Lawrence Costin warned that the withdrawal could delay U.S. access to vaccines and weaken epidemic surveillance capabilities. The timing of the withdrawal also complicates ongoing negotiations for a global treaty on pandemic preparedness and response, an effort initiated in 2021 to address future health emergencies. With the U.S. stepping back, the treaty's development now faces uncertainty. As global health experts and international leaders react, one question remains at the forefront: how will the U.S. departure reshape the future of global health cooperation? Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Still in the United States of America, now on the first day of returning to the Oval Office, U.S. President Donald Trump and his predecessor, former President Joe Biden, received gratitude from several Israelis after Washington played a crucial role in blocking a ceasefire deal which started early this week and has led to the release of 3 hostages by Hamas and over 90 Palestinian prisoners by Israel.
Thousands of Israelis watched a giant TV screen in what has come to be known as Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, waiting nervously to see the release of 3 female hostages from Hamas custody to the Red Cross and then to the Israeli army. The crowd cheered as the 3 young women, appearing in relatively good condition, reunited with their families. They will spend at least the next 4 days in the hospital resting from their ordeal of 471 days in Hamas captivity. One of the hostages, Emily Damari, who is a joint British-Israeli citizen, said in a statement that she is the happiest person in the world to be free. Amit Susana is a former hostage who was released in the only other ceasefire deal. She is from the same Kfar Aza kibbutz as 2 of the newly freed hostages. At a Hostage Square rally the night before, she thanked U.S. Presidents Biden and Trump for their mediation in reaching a deal.
Your leadership and commitment have been instrumental in reaching this crucial step. However, we urge you to continue your efforts in ensuring the completion of the second phase of the deal.
A total of 33 Israeli hostages, alive and dead, are expected to be released during the first 6-week phase of the deal. During this time, negotiators will work on the second phase, which calls for a permanent ceasefire, the release of the 65 remaining hostages, and a complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. Many of the families of hostages worry that if the deal collapses before the second phase, the remaining hostages could be lost forever in Gaza. Omri Lifshitz's 84-year-old father is among the 33 hostages due to be released in the first phase.
First phase is 33 and we need them all back, so we're going to fight for the second phase. We hope President Trump will keep push for end this war and push for the deal to go to second phase.
Together with the release of the first 3 Israeli hostages, Israel freed 90 West Bank Palestinian women and minors from Israeli jails. Under the terms of the ceasefire and hostage release deal, Israel will free about 1,900 Palestinian prisoners, some of them serving life sentences for murdering Israelis.
Our joy is incomplete because of what happened to the people of Gaza and their martyrs, and because of the female prisoners who remained behind us in prison.
Analysts caution that there is still a long way to go before the war officially ends and all hostages are freed. They say that beyond the initial euphoria, the next 6 weeks are likely to be a time of increased tension in Israel and the West Bank. The Israeli public is divided about the dangers of ending the war and releasing so many Palestinians with blood on their hands. Linda Gradstein, VOA News, Tel Aviv.
Now, it's time for the latest in the world of sports. Now, junior starlets coach Mildred Cheche is confident as she prepares her team for the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Cheche highlighted the team's rigorous training session and her focus on advancing past Uganda in the second round qualifiers this March. Reflecting on the last year's World Cup in the Dominican Republic, she emphasized the lessons learned and her determination to build a stronger squad.
Our expectations are we are hoping to win the match. It's not going to be easy because they are also an experienced side, but we also have a good team that we're going to push them to give us good results. Major highlight was, of course, qualifying for the World Cup and also being able to guide and nurture young talent. So I think for us that was the best for this year. It was a great platform for us to see our girls in competitive matches and also to prepare them for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. For the squad that was in Tanzania, most of them will be in the upcoming qualifiers, and also we will have additions for the players who were left out. Not all of them were able to go to Tanzania, so we will have a mini selection to incorporate those who did not get a chance. The plan was...
Still matters football. 9 matches are on the card in the UEFA Champions League fixtures lined up for tonight. Monaco is currently playing against Aston Villa at Stade Louis Second, as Atletico Madrid face off Bayer Leverkusen at Riyadh Air Metropolitan at 11 p.m. East African time. At the same time, Barcelona will battle it out with Benfica at Estadio do Sport, Lisbon. Meanwhile, Liverpool will welcome Lusk at Anfield, while Club Brugge will take on Juventus at Jan Breidel Stadium. Bologna will clash against Dortmund at Renato de Lara. Right, we have come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. Remember, this is the 21st day of January. Should I say January? Hold on tight. It's almost over. And that's the beauty of when the year really rotates and wind up pretty quick, contrary to the expectations of many people. January is almost over. Anyway, so to you, our esteemed viewers, thank you so much for keeping us company in the last 43 minutes or so. My good name is Auma Evans. Moses Gitonga has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Let's do this same time, same place on Tuesday next week by the grace of God. Until then, you have a lovely night.